Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we will turn the quiet and peaceful democratic UK into an aggressive fascist dictatorship. I will guide you through the process of becoming fascist while avoiding a civil war and securing all of our dominions. We will take down and annex the USA, France and most of Europe. And I'm very excited to share this guide with you because fascist UK can become incredibly powerful, being the only country in the world able to core, in addition to all of its dominions, the United States and Europe by forming a fascist European Union. Now, if that sounds interesting, then this is the right video for you. Unfortunately, this strategy involves a very precise setup. I will try to cover everything in the video, but if you have any doubts, feel free to ask. You can do so in the comment section. But I would also recommend joining our Discord to meet our amazing community. Also, remember that I always upload the unedited version for all of my guides. You can find it in the description of the video, together with the focus and research priorities. Finally, if you have been following the channel and enjoying my content, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe. It really helps more than you may think. Now, that's really all for the introduction, so let's get right away into our initial setup for fascist UK. Again, keep in mind that the researches and focuses are in the description of the video, so I will not mention them in the video itself, but pay attention because some of them, they are highlighted in the description too. We need to pick without an MIO, so you need to pick this first option to save on political power. In terms of buildings, we are going straight for military factories and we are going to build them in all of the 80% plus provinces in the United Kingdom, meaning all of the UK, all of England and then part of Scotland. Okay, now in terms of production, this is our priority. We go for 4 to support equipment, 2 to artillery, 1 for anti-air, 1 for trucks, and then everything else, all of the future ones, will go into infantry equipment. In terms of the naval production, as you know, I always leave a lot of freedom, but in this case it's quite important that we start producing convoys from the very beginning, or at least as soon as possible. So I just leave the default production. We are going to finish all of the ships that we are building already, and then everything else will go into convoys. Convoys will be particularly important to annex our dominions later on in the run. Now, the very tough part of this setup concerns the armies. We will need to do a lot of work here, and for that reason I think I will not cover it all in the video. You can check it in the unedited version, but not in the edited version. Instead, I will include either a screenshot or part of the spreadsheet that I usually share with members. So instead of covering it in the video, I will show you here on screen the spreadsheet that is usually shared only with members. You can get it with a tier 2 membership. But in this case, to make it a bit easier, I will show at least that part concerning the setup of the armies, and I will also write it down in the description of the video. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, or check the unedited version where you will be able to see the exact setup. I will still mention the most important parts in here. Let me also mention very quickly why it is important to have a very precise setup for the armies. And the reason is, after turning fascist, after we go for organize the Black Shirts, we will unlock move to secure the dominions, and this will allow us to make sure that our dominions do not break away from us, do not get free from us after we turn fascist. For that, however, we need to have a specific amount of infantry or manpower in each province of each dominion. So we need to make sure that we have the perfect setup so that we can enforce the martial law in all dominions at once when the time comes. So first of all, we're going to select all of our divisions, and we're going to split off one cavalry division, and the other 35 divisions, we're going to switch them all into infantry divisions. Also, I will rename the divisions here so that it's easier to understand what we are talking about. Alright, these are also the names I use in my spreadsheets, so it will be a bit easier to know what is going on. Okay, next we are going to want to request forces from all of our dominions, all of their divisions. So Canada, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Malaya, and India. And we want to create a new army with all of these divisions. So we have the infantry ones, one cavalry, and all of the dominions. We also want to start recruiting another 9 infantry divisions. And now we're going to start assigning them to our dominions, starting from Australia. Be very careful with the names of these divisions. Follow the ones in the description. The name must be exactly the same. Some of them are very tricky. For example, if you see the South African division, some of them are district force, and some of them are district brigade. It does matter which one you assign, although the icon is the same. So you need to check the names individually. But let's start with Australia. So what I usually do is I create a new theater for each dominion.
Attention! Fall in! Fall in!
And then I assign them an area defense commander to the regions which are also listed in the description. So first region, New South Wales, for example. I will not mention this for all of them, but just as an example, in New South Wales we want 2 cavalry divisions from Australia and 4 district garrison divisions from India.
Fall in! Attention! Fall in!
Okay, Australia is done. Now let's take care of India, which is by far the most annoying.
Ready! Yes, sir! All in! Ready! Ready! Yes, sir! All in! Ready! Yes, sir! Ready! All in! Ready! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! All in! Yes, sir! Ready! All in! Yes, sir!
You're watching the unedited version. Sorry guys if I'm not talking, but I actually need to focus a lot on what I'm doing. Because you really don't want to mess up this setup. And also you don't want to restart the run, because this setup is an absolute nightmare to make a game. As you do it more than once, and of course I did it more than once, you become a bit faster at doing it, but it's still very painful. Now, in addition to be very painful in general, India requires an additional specific setup, and that is, in addition to setting them on area defense, 2 of these divisions must be set on a full back line, otherwise for some reason they don't go where they are supposed to go. The 2 provinces where they don't go are this one, I do not know how to pronounce it, and this one, and this one. So only for these 2 provinces you want to use a full back line. So I usually do it with the first 2 here. So full back line here, make sure it's right, and full back line here. And at least the other ones are easy because you just go with the area defense and you can see where you assign them. So you just go like this and make sure that every province except for those 2 is covered. Yeah, see, we don't want this one.
Ready, sir! Ready, sir! Yes, sir! Attention! All in!
It's a lot of effort to make this fascist UK work in this way. There are other ways to deal with the Dominions. You can also trigger the civil war and take them in the civil war, but I prefer this way, at least for now. We'll see in future versions of this guide.
Yes, sir!
But yeah, the setup is going to be worth it in the end. So this is the area of India that you want to cover. The only 3 provinces that you want to ignore are this one, and this one. So these ones you don't want to assign any divisions. The other ones must be covered, and again this one and this one you need a fallback line, otherwise your units will not go there. Okay, we're done with India. That was the most painful. Now South Africa. Oh, actually, now New Zealand. Bit easier.
All in! Ready, sir! Ready, sir! Ready! Attention! Attention! Attention!
Now South Africa.
Fall in! Yes, sir! Ready! Yes, sir!
Here we want the district brigades. Pay attention to the ones you pick. 1, 2, and 3.
Ready.
Okay, to this area. And then the Malayan Infantry Brigade.
Fall in! Attention! Attention! Ready! Ready, sir!
Okay, and finally Canada, and let's send this one here too. And if you did everything correctly, so this is the last check to see if you did everything correctly. For Canada, you should only have 8 divisions left, 4 cavalry and 4 district militia, all from Canada. And we're going to assign them all to this region here, which is called Southern Ontario. And then we will need to assign some more divisions to Canada, but we don't have them yet, so we will need for these 9 divisions to be recruited first. For now, the setup of the divisions is done. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Later on, when we unpause the game, make sure that they're all moving, which is the hint that they're all going where they should go, hopefully. Now, in the meantime, let's gather our navy. Usually gather it in southern England. And let's also gather our planes. I usually do it from here. Not the carrier planes, but we're going to take the other ones. Going to send them all to London, and I'm going to shift click on exercises so that they train up to regular. Next, we are going to change the occupation law to local autonomy. And with this, our initial setup is done. It's a painful initial setup, so I suggest saving. Otherwise, you know, when you reload the save in HOI4, you may trigger some unforeseen events. But by turning the UK into a fascist country, actually, we will trigger some weird events in any case, so probably doesn't matter. So if you don't want to do all the setup again, I suggest saving now. And we can finally start the game at speed 5 and make sure that all of our divisions are moving. It looks good, so they're probably going into the right place. This is not super impactful, but I usually do not allow Ethiopia to create what is it? An exile government in the UK. Okay, as soon as you complete this focus, it is time to prepare to become fascist. And in order to do it peacefully, we need to be very careful about our stability. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to hold an anti-German speech, which will increase our stability, and we're going to urge restraint for the next move that we're going to do. But for now, that's all. We're going to wait until we have 100% stability. So we're going to wait until we have 100% stability, which will happen when the new king is elected. Again, pay attention that we do not pick MIOs for these first researches. Okay, here we go. We got the new king, Edward the 8th. Which means we can start some decisions in order to become fascist. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the black shirt we're going to click on the black shirt march in London. And as soon as that is done, we're going to press again on anti-German speech and urge restraint. The next focus is the shadow scheme, but for this one we need to wait a little bit longer. We need to wait for the civil war in Spain to start. In the meantime, we just wait. Shouldn't take very long. There we go. Civil war in Spain. It means we can pick the shadow scheme. Now keep an eye on the anti-German speech, because as soon as this is done, we want to pick it again. Okay, there we go. So we pick it again. And as we do that, we're also going to force deploy all of our infantry divisions. We're going to train another 28 infantry divisions. Too much. We're going to recruit another 28 infantry divisions, and once we force deployed, we're going to send to Canada. So in Canada too, let's create another army and let's set them up, as you can see again in the description of the video and in the spreadsheet.
Fall in! Yes, sir! Attention! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Attention! Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
Okay, they should all be assigned properly, hopefully. For now we can continue. We don't have much to do until the effect of the focus Organize the Black Shirts expires, which will happen in early February 1937. Accept Portugal offers. This is our MIO priority for infantry equipment.
Ready!
Okay, and pay attention to this notification, you don't want to miss it. It's right after you complete the focus anyway. So we no longer get the effects from a change in curse, which means our fascist support will no longer automatically increase daily. At this point we want to become fascist, and for that we just need one last decision. So we minimize the amount of marches that we need to take in the United Kingdom to the bare minimum. One in London and one in Yorkshire. So at this point we go for the march in Yorkshire. Wait for it to complete. And after that you should be able, if you did everything correctly, to pick a march on Downing Street, which we're going to do right away. And now we are officially fascist. And that was incredibly smooth, as you can see. No more elections, we are now fascist. Now we need to change the occupation law because we no longer have access to local autonomy, so we're going for local police force instead. We can now pick the next focus, which is going to be move to secure the dominions. We want to assign the new divisions to a new army, a new theater, and then especially we want to train everything. So we are going to train all of the divisions we assign to the dominions. I'm shift clicking on all of them, and doing it from here it's a bit more convenient than on the individual divisions. and this one, and we're also going to train the Navy, including the new ones that we just got. So shift click on the Navy too. Planes should be already trained. And we can continue. Oh, you will get a lot of messages about provisional governments, but it is not true that they have enough compliance, so I think this is a bug or something. In any case, whichever thing you choose, it doesn't affect it. It doesn't do anything at all. So, yeah.
Attention!
Again, this doesn't matter much, but I don't accept it usually.
Attention!
Refuse the Danish proposal. Alright, as soon as you complete this focus, there is something very important and the main reason why we saved so much political power until now. Okay, now the most important thing is, now if you positioned your divisions correctly, you should be able to impose martial law on all of your dominions. That is Canada, South Africa, India, Australia and New Zealand. We did it correctly. I'm very glad to see this, because otherwise you're in a bit of a trouble. After that, you want to pick it for all of them, so Canada, and you also want to go for propaganda in Canada. Then you want martial law in South Africa, no propaganda. You can install a fascist government right away, so go for that instead. You want the martial law in India and the propaganda in India. Same for Australia and same for New Zealand. And if you did everything correctly, you should have enough political power and a little bit of an extra for all of these decisions. You want to pick them right away. You don't want to mess this up.
Yes, sir!
And now we can continue, but you also want to try and turn them into fascist governments as soon as possible, because the longer they remain not fascist, the more political power we spend. So we don't want to wait. We want to turn them into fascist governments as soon as these become available.
Attention! Ready! Yes, sir!
Okay, we can do it in India. Let's do it right away. Canada as well. Now, after you complete this focus, you want to wait until you pick the next focus, because we are a bit short on political power and we want to make sure that we complete these two decisions as fast as possible. We're going to wait until all dominions are fascist, and then we're going to pick the next focus. Go for Australia.
All in!
And now this is your deadline. If you do not do it within 87 days, then New Zealand or whatever dominion is left will break free. We don't want that. But I planned a guide so that we have a little bit of a margin. As you can see, we are pretty close to 50 political power already, and we still have 70 days. So I mean, if you wanted, you could probably pick some of the MIOs before, but I just wanted to be on the safe side of things. So last fascist government, which means our dominions are now secured. They will not break free anymore. So we don't have to worry about dominions anymore. And as you can see, this was a very smooth fascist turn of events, let's say. We changed our government into fascism without violence, without civil war, without losing any of the dominions. Yeah, an annoying setup for sure, but the outcome is pretty good. And now we can pick the next focus. Just going to be this one. Now, at this point, we also want to force deploy all of the remaining divisions, assign them to any army and make sure they are training. And actually, once we deploy them, it's time to rearrange our divisions and prepare them for the invasion of the United States, which will be our next goal. So for that, what I suggest doing is merging all of the divisions, all of them together. Okay, wait. I'm messing this up a bit. You want to merge all of them into just one big army, and then from this big army you want to remove all of the UK divisions. You want to split the other divisions into two. These are our Dominions divisions. Don't need them on any defensive commands anymore. And then we're going to split also the British divisions into a total of 3 armies. And if you did everything correctly, you should have a full 3 armies of regular infantry from the UK. There we go. So you should have 3 full armies and 2 partially full armies of puppets. Let's create a new theater and let's set them up for the United States. So let's assign the Marshal, make sure that the demotorization priority is to maximum, give him a troop planner. Aggressively execute battle plans. Now for the regular infantry we want good offensive generals, so go for something like this. It's up to you, but I like usually these 3 guys here. As for the Dominions divisions, we go for something more defensive, like these 2. Okay, now for to push the United States, what we want is one offensive army to push from this area here with a spearhead all the way to Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and Washington. Something like this. And we want to set up a defensive army to cover their back, especially this part here where we are not going to push. So one of the Dominions army will act as a defensive army behind them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then we want another army, I will use this one, to push from the area of Vancouver. You can decide how much you want to go into the United States, how wide you want to be here. Usually try to look for the supply hub, like this one, say something like this. And then I also go for a spearhead, a bit randomly, but something like this, in order to push San Francisco. And we assign them a defensive army, which will cover the rest of the front here. I also give the defensive armies an offensive line command, but I try not to use them too much because that would increase the autonomy if we use them too much. So we don't really want that. Just in case of emergency, it's good to have an extra backup. The last army, the last big army, we're going to set it up in Vancouver with a fallback line. And then once they are there, we are going to plan a naval invasion from Vancouver to the area of Los Angeles and San Diego. Of course, we also want to prepare our navy for that. They should be trained by now, and if they are not, it's probably because something is broken in there, like this one. And we're going to send the entire navy to Vancouver. Also, we want to assign all of our planes. And first of all, you could send them to Canada. But then what I would do is I would assign them to the main 2 armies. So the one pushing in the area of New York, about half of them. And the other half to the army pushing in the area of Vancouver. So something like this should be good. If you purchase the tier 2 membership, you can also find all of these described in the spreadsheet at the very bottom. Okay, while they move into position, make sure to train them a bit more. We want them all to be trained to regular by the time the war starts.
Ready. Ready.
Now let's go get our claim. And by the way, from now on we can pick the MIOs.
All in. Attention.
Okay, now that these guys are in position, let's plan the naval invasion. Of course, use the divisions which are already trained for it. And we go for groups of 2 to the area of San Diego, Los Angeles.
Yes, sir. All in. Ready. Attention.
For what concerns the fleet, I usually split them into 2, and then I set 1 on naval invasion support and 1 on strike force, but we're going to wait until we get the claim before we do that. At 100 political power, we're going to pick the Army Offense Advisor.
Attention.
Yeah, we really don't want these guys to go wherever they are going, so maybe you should split them actually later when the war starts. Stop going away from there, you stupid piece of shit. I hate the Navy.
All in.
Okay, we got our claim on the United States, which means it's time for the war. I would recommend making a save at this point. The war against the United States is actually fairly easy because it's 1937. They are absolutely not ready, and we have a lot of divisions. But still, you know, just in case. Let's make our save. So for this we need to declare war on the United States. Do not call your allies, but do call Canada, otherwise we cannot attack them. Let's slow down the speed a little bit, and we can start the offensives with the main armies. And with these guys, let's just wait a little bit longer until they get full training, ideally. As you can see, the United States is actually going down quite fast. And now our naval invasion is ready as well, so let's split the fleet, as I mentioned earlier. Naval invasion support. Remember this region here, otherwise they will not start. Strike force, and let's go for the naval invasion as well. As soon as you can, at 35 army experience, pick the professional officer corps. Nice, nobody was defending this area.
All in.
So with the army that went for the naval invasion, I usually go for a spearhead, taking all the way from San Francisco to Houston, I think, New Orleans. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes they do defend a little bit more, but I will not complain.
All in.
And after the naval invasion is done, stop the naval invasion support, otherwise you will burn all of your fuel. At 10 army experience, what I usually do is I add the field hospital. Oh, we don't have it yet, sorry, never mind.
Ready.
Everything is going well. Okay, as soon as you unlock the field hospital, add it to your infantry divisions, so we can keep the manpower losses a bit lower. As you can see, we are struggling a bit with manpower at the moment. Here is our motorized MIO priority.
Ready, sir. Move out. Move out. Ready. Fall back. Move out.
And what you can do up here is you can do the puppet divisions to push in areas where you can clearly see that they don't have divisions. You can do something like this. You can micromanage your units a little bit to make the war go a little bit smoother.
Attention. Move out. All in. Yes, sir. All in. Ready.
Do send bombers to Yugoslavia.
Attention.
Here is our artillery MIO priority.
All in!
I don't usually micromanage this war very much, I just let them go, but sometimes they do weird stuff like this, so in these cases you can individually tell them to go where they need to go. Definitely you can play this war a little bit more carefully and better than I am doing, but I am simulating, let's say, a new player attempting this, so with minimal micromanagement, just with the initial command, you can easily take them down.
All in! Move out! All in! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Ready! Yes, sir!
Okay, at 100 political power, you should be able to utilize domestic film industry, and if you can do so, otherwise do it a little bit later.
Attention!
Also, don't be afraid of sending your divisions very far away, because the Americans don't really have a lot of divisions, so rushing the victory points is a very effective tactic in this case.
Ready, sir! Attention!
Let's give it a look. It's going quite well. The United States are already almost down, and we have fairly low casualties. It's okay, even if you have a bit higher casualties.
Ready, sir!
And there we go, the United States are down. Very smooth, very easy. Now, in the peace conference, what you want to do is you want to annex the United States entirely, everything for yourself, and you want to puppet the Philippines. Well, you can also annex them if you prefer, but I usually puppet them, and then you can take the entire navy of the United States. And now we have the Royal Navy and the US Navy. Not bad, right? Let's confirm. The United States are down, so we are already pretty beefy. And let me just show you something. Let's see if it's already there. Okay, it's already there. So in political actions now, you can see a new decision. You should be able to see a new decision called Create the Pan-North American State. What this does is it gives all of the United States to Canada, and they get cores on all of the United States. But you don't really want to do that. For now, we want to keep the United States under our control. But this is the little trick that we're going to use later on to core the United States. With the Imperial Conference, we will be able to annex Canada and get their cores. Just before doing that, we're going to give them the Pan-North American State, meaning they will get cores on the United States, and then we get cores on them and the United States. That's the trick that we're going to use to get cores on basically all of North America. Okay, we're not just done with this part of the run, though, because we also want to take most of Europe, and we're going to do that right away. Now, what we want to do now is we want to check France, because when you become fascist, you sometimes trigger some events in Europe, and these events usually involve France becoming either communist. It's pretty much in that direction, it seems, right now, but they are not fully communist yet, so we'll need to see what happens. Or them creating the Little Entente and forming a faction with Czechoslovakia. Or them guaranteeing the stuff that we want, like Ireland, for example, on which we have a claim. Now, in this case, it seems like France is still democratic and it's still pretty chill. So they didn't form the Little Entente, they didn't guarantee Ireland. In any case, the strategy that we are going to use, it's going to work in all possible scenarios. If I must pick one scenario as the most annoying, I would say it is when France become communist, because when that happens, before capitulating, they usually join the Soviet Union, meaning we will be at war with the Soviet Union a lot earlier than we would naturally be. That doesn't matter though, because the Soviet Union cannot get here, so the rest of the war will be just the same. Just a bit more annoying. Okay, now let's prepare for the next expansion. We want to bring all of our armies back to the UK, but one of the armies is going to Ireland, and we are using a spearhead to take down Ireland as soon as they are ready. So one army to Ireland, and bring back here the puppet armies and set them on defensive purposes in here. And then the other two armies, we can send them, again with a defensive area, to the UK. So one army for Ireland, everyone else back in the UK. We also want to bring the entire fleet back to the UK. Going to send them here. We want to design the F1 and C1 planes, so we are going to use the basic small airframe for that. And remember to remove this stupid icon so they don't change names anymore. Thank you, Paradox, for doing this. Thank you for saving me from going completely mad. So this is going to be our F1. Thank you. Oh, no. And this is going to be our C1. And this is going to be our C1. Actually, remember to auto-upgrade them. Okay, we're also going to adjust the production a little bit. We bring the anti-air and trucks to 2, C1 to 5, support equipment F1 and infantry equipment to 10, and then all of the future factories will go into towered artillery. We're going to build more military factories in all of the UK, prioritizing the 80% plus provinces, but after those we also go for the other ones, so all of the UK. Prioritize the factories that are already being built. We're going to start making an agency, and after it's made, we are going to keep upgrading it until we get 2 spies. And with those spies, we're going to spy the Soviet Union in Vladivostok. And for now, we can continue.
Ready, sir! Attention!
You can assign the new divisions you get from your puppets to the defensive armies. At 100 political power, we are going to pick war economy. If you cannot do it yet, you should be able to do it in a few days as soon as you complete this focus. Now, we're also going to change our infantry divisions into offensive divisions, meaning we're going to add some artillery, 3 battalions for combat width of 27, the cavalry recon detachment, and the support anti-air. So this is now going to be our offensive infantry. And we're also going to make them elite.
Ready!
And this should also mean that in a couple of days they will no longer have full training, meaning we want to train everything again.
Ready! Yes, sir! Ready!
You want to keep an eye on the training, and as soon as the army which was supposed to invade Ireland is fully trained, should happen pretty soon.
Yes, sir!
There we go. We're going to declare war on Ireland. Let's check them just in case France guaranteed them. That's not the case. It doesn't matter. We go after Ireland.
Attention! Fall in!
Now, if France guaranteed them, you would want to wait until France joins and then justify on the Netherlands. But since France is not going to join, we're just going to justify a war goal on the Netherlands right away. It's going to take 125 days, but that's alright. And since we started justifying a claim on them, we're also going to start setting up our navies and prepare the naval invasion. For the navies, what I do, but that's again up to you, is I usually take all destroyers, I create a new theater. I split them around a little bit, like this, and I set them on convoy escort all around the UK and France. As for the other 2 fleets, I send them to London. Split them into 2 armies, and then one will be on naval invasion support in here, and the other will be on strike force in here. As for the naval invasion, you can use whichever army you prefer. I'm going to go for this guy here, and we go for groups of 2 from London and from this area to this area of the Netherlands.
Fall in! Fall in! Attention! Fall in!
Okay, something like this. Finally, what we're going to do is we are going to block the Mediterranean Sea regions so that our convoys don't go through here. It's more likely that they will be attacked by France or later on Italy if they go through the Mediterranean Sea. So we don't want that. Of course, the Netherlands are not... I mean, of course, Ireland is not a real challenge. At least in the game. Historically, it was. What Iran and Afghanistan do doesn't matter much. We take this focus mostly for the extra war support. But if you can get an extra puppet, that's also amazing. Okay, Ireland is already down. You can do whatever you want, but I usually annex them.
Yes, sir.
And we can now prepare this army back in the UK to support the conquer of, or to support the invasion of Europe later on.
Attention.
Okay, now this is what usually happens when we become fascist. There is no historical progress in World War II. Instead, usually Germany declares war on Czechoslovakia, meaning they will also be at war with France. Now, France is going in the communist direction, but they are not communist yet, so we'll need to see exactly what happens here. In the meantime, they will be at war with Germany, but Germany will not be able to push into them, and we want to take the Netherlands and Belgium before Germany takes them. Hopefully our claim will come quickly enough. Germany is actually much weaker because it's 1938, and they will struggle to push into the forts of Czechoslovakia. So this is a pretty good setup for us. France is fairly weak, Germany is weaker than usual, and the Soviet Union is out of this, at least for now.
All in.
Okay, when you get your second spy, you can switch to Quiet Intel Network in the Soviet Union. You could do it a little bit earlier too, but that's the timing I usually use. And then go for a collaboration government. Prepare a collaboration government and press automatically repeat, so you get a notification when it is done. Okay, France did form the European Federation. Sometimes it's the Little Entente. In any case, that's pretty good news for us. We are happy when they create a faction. And in this case, they created a faction apparently with only with Czechoslovakia. Who else is in this faction? Maybe Luxembourg is in this faction. Yeah, Luxembourg. Okay. Czechoslovakia too. That really doesn't matter much for us. But the fact that they joined a faction is good, simply because if they are in a faction, they cannot join the Soviet Union, which is the most annoying thing. So we're happy with that. Oh wow, Italy took Greece fairly fast. Good job.
Yes, sir.
For what concerns planes, or at least fighters, this is the MIO priority I would recommend. Okay, we got our claim on the Netherlands, and in just a few days we should also get enough political power for we should also get enough political power for limited conscription. We want to pick it because our manpower is struggling a little bit. And then we want to declare war on the Netherlands. Now, there is a chance, I think, that they join the faction of France, so let's see what happens. At this point, we also want to pick some of our doctrines and spirits. I'll start with the Navy. These ones are less important, but... And then the very important ones, we're going for superior firepower. So we pick it, then we pick the suppressive barrage spirit, and then smoke and fire as soon as possible. We actually don't have enough army experience because the war in the United States was a bit smoother than usual. So we didn't get as much army experience. That's totally fine, of course. Okay, now at this point we want to see what happens with France. If France joins, or the Netherlands joins France, that's great. And then we are going... Okay, that's the case. I should probably call France pretty soon. Okay, now we're at war with France, which is a good thing because it means we can justify a war goal on Belgium and it will only take 25 days. If France does not guarantee or join the Netherlands, then the first claim that you want to justify at this point will be on France, not on Belgium, because France is a major. It will take less in any case to justify on them. But this is ideal, so as soon as we have enough political power, we're going to justify on Belgium. There we go, so let's get our claim on Belgium as well. The Netherlands are not usually a big problem.
All in! Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
And the Netherlands are down. This was fast.
Yes, sir!
So we want to prepare, of course, for Belgium right away. Naturally, it's very important that we take them down faster, because Germany would also like some of them. So if we take them before Germany, we don't have to take them from Germany. At this point, it's also wise to deploy all of our planes, because we probably have quite a bit. Another thing you may want to check is how much it takes for France to capitulate, and in this case, as you can see, it is 70%, so this is the easy France. But if they changed to communist or something else, sometimes they need to go down all the way to 20% to capitulate, so it's a good idea to check how easy the war against France will be. We're pretty lucky in this run so far, so it will be an easy war. Okay, we got the claim on Belgium. Let's go right away and let's try to cut off Germany before they can interfere with us.
Yes, sir!
Perfect. As long as Germany is cut out, we don't really care about them being part of the war.
Ready!
And now we go straight into France, of course. Now, since this is the easy France, we don't need to plan that much. If it is the harder France, you will need to go all the way down here. Also, depending on which France it is, 70% or 20% capitulation France, the timing on the next justification changes. In this case, it's easy France, so we're going to justify a war goal on Italy right away. We want to justify on Italy because Italy sometimes doesn't join if you declare war on Germany, but if you declare war on Italy, Germany usually joins, so it's a better choice in our case.
Attention!
These, let me tell you right away, though, will be covered in the next part of this run. For now, we mostly want to take down France, so let's go right away into France. Okay, France is down. We do not have the majority of the war score, which is a little bit annoying. This is better when France doesn't have all the war score, but do not worry too much, it's going to be fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to prioritize taking the Netherlands and Belgium. We can leave Luxembourg to Germany, and then start with the regions at the border with Germany, the ones that they are more likely to claim, and the ones at the border with Italy. Usually this war score is enough, even if it is below 50%, even if it's less than Germany, because Germany will prioritize taking a lot of useless stuff instead of focusing on France. So for us it's more important to take France. Okay, after taking all of France, if you have any spare points, I would use them on the Dutch East Indies, because they are full of resources. Let's see if we can do that or not. Of course, the highest priority is taking France, so let's make sure that we do that. Should be fine. Come on, Germany, take something else. Plenty of stuff to take. Finally, they gave up. Okay, so we took France, Belgium, and the Netherlands, and probably Germany took the rest. Now, the big issue here is if Germany did not take everything else, we don't really want France to keep existing. So hopefully Germany will take the rest, but if not, let's puppet at least some of them. Come on, Germany, take them, please. Ooh, they will not take them. Oh, this is not great, but it should be fine. Okay, then we can confirm. And there we go. We got most of Europe, we got the United States, and we're getting ready for the war against the Axis. Now, when Czechoslovakia does not join this faction, it's slightly better because Germany will be busy against them, but in any case, it's going to be fine. We have everything we need to take down Germany and Italy. But that's going to be for the next part of this amazing run with Fascist UK. The next run is for the Axis, the next video is for the Axis. After that, we will take down the Soviet Union, and then, of course, we are going for the grand finale. We are going to core all of Europe, the United States, all of our dominions. Will be a lot of fun, guys. Make sure not to miss the next few videos. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it, if you have any suggestions for further improvements as well. And well, guys, as usual, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.